Spotlight. The Spotlight today is on Tom Riley. Tom is the president of Commend Inc., based in Mahwah, New Jersey. Commend has evolved into much more than an intercom company over the last years. And we're looking forward to talking to Tom and see some of the innovative things going on at Commend. Hope you enjoy the conversation. Hello, Tom. How are you today?
Doing great, Keith. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks very much for joining me in the Loom Spotlight. I look forward to learning about some of the exciting things going on with Commend.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation. Really nice to connect and look forward to this. I saw one that you posted on LinkedIn previously, and it's well done. So happy to be a part of it.
No, thank you. Trying to just get people in the industry to be able to share some of the things going on out there. So with that, I'd like to start with with the attention on touchless and contactless solutions. How is Commend meeting this demand in the market today?
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things that has been a part of Commend's evolution, right? So we went from strictly audio to audio visual or video to touch screens with full displays to allow more interaction with the end user. And the way that our technology is developed is we're now able to offer a full contactless solution while providing both audio and video for our customers. So we have a series of OD and ID stations, so outdoor rated and indoor rated stations that the term touch screen, which is what they utilize, may not marry up with the touchless requirements now, but because of the way that we've designed the stations, they actually do. So you can use a series of voice and visual commands on our stations to help people entering a building to navigate per your evolving policies. So instructions on the screen to tell you where to go, where to sit, where to wait for your person. Voice commands to give you instructions based on time of day or based on how circumstances change. And we even introduced a touchless button. So instead of having to physically engage a station by pressing a button, you can instead wave your hand in front of it and it'll initiate a series of activities. So something that, like I said, really just part of our normal product evolution, but luckily is available now when people really need it. People have been across industries taking different approaches to getting back to the office, some more conservative than others just based on necessity. But we've seen a really big demand for these types of solutions as people start to figure out how they're going to go back.
That's great. I mean, it sounds like you already had solutions and the technology available, and now, unfortunately, the situation is allowing you to be able to realize that in real life circumstances. So
yeah, and it's one of those things. Obviously, we really want to help wherever we can, and we luckily have developed a pretty big name in the market, and we obviously are viewed as one of the global leaders in intercom. But it also helps you think, well, what can we do a little bit differently? And the touchless button is something that's just a natural add-on. We've even introduced solutions that are tailor built to these circumstances, and face mask detection as an add-on to our cameras, and even thermal detection if that's something that customers want. All again, wide spectrum of things. Some that are more in line with our standard product line, and some that are maybe a little bit more tailored based on what people need given the current circumstances.
Yeah, I think that's a good segue. I saw during the Parking Network virtual conference, Commend did a presentation, and you were using artificial intelligence in some solutions that are coming. Maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Yeah. So there's a couple different dimensions to it. Maybe just to close out the prior point, face mask detection is obviously that, right? So using artificial intelligence, facial recognition to detect if somebody's wearing a mask or not, that's maybe the first example, and something we're excited to be rolling out. The other one is keyword detection. So again, instead of using a button or instead of having to wave your hands, our stations have the capability to listen for keywords. So not necessarily something you use at the entry point to a building, but if you need a contactless capability within a manufacturing capacity or within a clean room, for example, instead of having to engage a button, you can program a keyword for the station to listen to, and set a course of action upon hearing it, in order to mobilize the workflow that you need for that given circumstance. And the one that you mentioned at the parking conference is actually the Commend digital assistant, and something that Commend's been developing for years. And just this year, we started introducing data sites, and we have a handful of them on now, and we're collecting more and more throughout between now and the end of the year, which is essentially a professional speech recognition capability. So think about Siri or Alexa for more individual use. This is something that Commend's developing for professional use. And there's a really, really wide spectrum of use cases we plan to introduce it to initially, and an even wider collection of use cases we plan to expand to in the future. So everything from workflow efficiency, so service automation, process optimization, safety and security. So having the ability for advanced audio surveillance and noise detection and audio analytics, and even customer service. So you think about how a lot of calls are fielded and what the reason for calls being made. Maybe to pick a parking example, the ideas of virtual receptionist and crowd guidance and text to speech to text is really powerful. So in parking, and it was part of the presentation you're referring to, some of our largest customers are in the parking business, and we're one of the leaders for that. One of our customers in the States, I forget the exact statistics, but I think it's around 40% of calls that they receive in their call center are for no answers, how to use equipment, that somebody pressed the button accidentally, all calls that really didn't have to be placed, and if they did have to be placed, could be answered through a pretty defined collection of answers. And that's what our digital assistant does. Is it's just like anything, it's a speech recognition that learns over time, and for your specific application, you can train it to have certain answers. But really helps our customers enjoy pretty tremendous efficiencies and pretty tremendous savings, so that their team and their technology can be made available for when people actually do need a call to be answered by a person, as opposed to calls that can be just kind of automated away.
Thank you. That's really, it was impressive when I saw that presentation, and what you just shared really shows the possibilities of how that can be applied going forward. Well,
Yeah.
good luck with that, with those, beta sites, and look forward to seeing more about that later on in the year.
Thank you.
Well, thanks. I'd like to end these Loom spotlights with a little Loom lightning round and rattle off a few questions just to get a little bit about your personality. So
Sure.
if you'd like to participate, I'll get started.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Self-park or valet?
Ballet.
Favorite college basketball team?
College basketball wasn't a big thing. I went to Binghamton University, so we not a real performance to
American East?
brag about.
American East Conference?
American East, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go with Binghamton and St. John's. But Binghamton because that's my alumnus, and St. John's where my brother went, and a pretty impressive team to stand behind.
Okay, great. Favorite subject in grade school?
I was always a math kid.
Okay, cash, credit, or app?
Credit.
Best concert you ever went to?
Flogging Molly in upstate New York. They went to an Irish festival when I was in college, and it was pretty amazing.
Okay, favorite movie?
Big Lebowski.
Bucket list travel spot?
I'll pick one that's more attainable. I want to bring my kids to Ireland. I want to do a European trip with my family. That's pandemic permitting. Hopefully on the near term horizon.
Well, hopefully it'll be sooner than later. And Uber or Lyft?
Uber.
Uber. Okay. Well, thanks. I get a little. It gives us a chance to see a little bit of the personal side and what goes on with Tom. Thank you.
That sounds good, Keith. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today, and look forward to seeing you soon, and not through a Zoom conference.
Yeah, sounds great. Again, thanks for organizing this, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.